in a second, and it takes a few minutes for everybody to pop in. Okay. Let me post in our event page really fast that we are on, and there's a link there for you guys to post questions when you have them. All right. Hello. Everybody's probably hungover from the weekend and recuperating and getting back on track. Thank you guys for those of you who are hopping on. I know a lot of people are going to catch the recording later this evening, so we will have it recorded for you. I just have a few things before we turn it over to our guest speaker. 6 days left in the month. Who else is exhausted? I am. It's the 26th, so we have 6 days left before the 31st, before the end of May, and I know that a lot of you have big goals. I know that you're pushing for Diamond and you're trying to lock in Success Club 5 or 10 or whatever your goal may be, so I just encourage you guys to keep going. I always tell you, in the beginning of the month to push like it's the last day of the month, and I know that's easier said than done, especially when we come off of a month and we're exhausted, and so this week is like your crunch time. Right, so if you've not locked in Success Club, I need you guys to dig deep. I need you to do those follow-ups and reach out to those people who said no or maybe in the past or for your last group, and make sure you're inviting those people. Make sure you're knocking out your follow-ups. Make sure you're getting your power hours in. Those little things that we seem to skip every single day is what needs to be done at the end of the month to hit the goals that we need to hit. So dig deep. Let me know if you guys have questions or need help with conversations, anything like that. Take advantage of the sales that we have going on. PIO, Body Beast, On Demand is like, you guys really need to push those. Having access to all of those different workout programs for $140 plus Shakeology, that's a good in for any customer. So really be pushing those. Team socks and tank tops. If you won socks and tank tops last month, I have them in my closet waiting for me to package them up and mail them out. So they are coming, I promise. I think that's it. I don't really have much. I've yelled at you guys a lot on our team page. So I think we're good. I will introduce Sarah Try now. She is our guest on our team chat today. Sarah is a 2-time elite. So she's been an elite coach 2 times, 2 years. She's a Success Club 5 legend, not all-star, but legend. So she's consistently hit Success Club 5 or above for 24 months in a row, which is amazing. And she's a lifetime 10-star diamond, so that's also huge. So she's an amazing woman and has her stuff together, and she's developed top 10 coaches underneath her. So I really think this is someone who you may want to listen to. So I will turn it over to Sarah, and afterwards, if you guys have questions, we will answer them through the event page that I posted on. So Sarah, it's all you.
All right. Can you guys see me?
I think so.
Can you see my video? Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna mute myself.
What's that?
I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay, cool. Okay. So, Raina, I can't see myself. Are you still on? Oh, but you can see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Okay, so guys, I'll just tell you a quick little bit about me. So I started as a coach in December of 2011, signed on as a discount coach, and really just started with P90X and Shakeology. I honestly did not like the taste of Shakeology, but I knew it was good for me. My coach explained the benefits, and I said, okay, let's do this. Let's sign up. I'll get a discount, and I'm going to do this for 90 days. So I did it. I started seeing awesome results. I was invited to a Super Saturday, and Super Saturday honestly changed so much about how I view this business. Like literally, it made me just like feel what this network feels like. When you go to events, you just feel people, you feel the energy, you feel inspired, you feel motivation. Events are so powerful like that. So if you guys are on the edge about going to Summit or whatever, you gotta get to Summit. You gotta get to Super Saturday. Super Saturday, that first one that I went to in January of 2012, really set the stage for my whole Beachbody career. And of course, after that, I went to Summit in 2012 in Vegas, and I was the only one from my team because I had just become a Diamond coach at that time. Fast forward a year later, I brought 10 people with me to Summit, and then a year later, my third Summit, I had 66 people from Team Triceps, and now this year, Team Triceps has probably over 200 people going to Summit. So if you never give up and you're always hitting Success Club and you're always building your network, you will build a team. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work, but you just have to look in your future like through a lens of time. Like you always have to have a perspective that time is on your side. So I want to share something with you guys that I shared with my team today. And that is, it's a new perspective on time. So everybody has 168 hours per week. So let's see what we use that 168 hours for. So a lot of us have 40 hours that we commit to a full-time job. We have 56 hours of sleep, and that is 8 hours of sleep per day. And then we have about 15 extra hours of commuting, getting ready for work, and possibly overtime hours, okay? And then we're gonna add in 7 hours of personal development, which allows 1 hour per day. We're gonna put in 14 hours of working your Beachbody business, which is 2 hours per day. And then we're gonna add in 6 hours of working out, which is 1 hour per day for 6 days. And I know not all of us work out for 1 hour a day, but that kind of gives you a little bit of time to get ready for that workout and, you know, do your stretch, whatever. So after you take all of that away, you have 30 hours of free time, 30 hours of free time left. So you can hang out with your family, you can do yard work, you can do chores around the house, you can run errands, you can relax, you can read a personal book. There's so much time that you have, and there's probably so much time that you're wasting. So think about what you're doing with your time. It's not about time management. It's really not. It's about time prioritization. So you've got to prioritize how much time you want to put in the things that mean the most in your life. Okay? So anybody that thinks that they cannot do this business because they don't have time is not looking at it correctly. You're not looking at it the right way. And honestly, somehow I knew 3 years ago to look at my investment in this business as an investment, my 2 hours a day as an investment, my 1 hour a day for personal development as an investment. It wasn't work, it was an investment for my future. And because I did that early on and I consistently did that, my business has grown significantly. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about how to take what you wanna do with this business and take some goals like income and like financial freedom, things that you wanna do, and we're gonna put tangible activity behind that. So I know a lot of times coaches wanna be successful, they wanna hit financial freedom, they want to quit their full-time jobs, but they're not, or you're not exactly sure what to do to make that happen. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. I've created a formula for you based on what your income goals are, how much time you have to give, and that's gonna give you the formula for what you need to do every day in your business. So let me share my screen. Let me pull up my slides here. Okay. We good? Can you guys see this? Okay, I think so. Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay, there we go. So planning your weekly activity. So let's just talk about some basic stuff. You guys probably know this, but it's always really, really good to go over this. Your goals, they have to be specific and measurable. So you can't just say, I want to get out of debt. You need to know specifically what you need to pay off, how much it is that you need to pay off, or you need, if you want to have financial freedom, you need to know what financial freedom looks like. You know, paying off debt is part of that. How much do you want in your savings? You know, all that stuff. You have to have specific goals that are measurable that you can say, I have achieved that goal. Your goals have to be timely. You have to put a deadline on your goals. And that doesn't mean that you're always going to hit that deadline. It just means that you have a deadline to hit those goals. There is, I think in the Slight Edge, Jeff Olson talks about the fact that most people do 80% of the work to hit a goal, like within 20% of that goal coming due. So the last 20% before your goal is due, you're doing 80% of the work, which goes to show us that if you didn't have that deadline set, you would never get the majority of the work done. So you have to set a deadline for yourself, and you have to be really good about keeping that deadline. I set goals all the time that I don't reach, but that always pushes me to keep reaching them. If you're the type of person that if you don't reach a goal, you kind of like go downhill and you start to like unravel, then know that about yourself and set goals that you're really confident that you can hit. That's going to give you a boost. Goals have to be yours. They cannot be your uplines. They cannot be your spouses. They cannot be your parents. They cannot be your kids. They have to be your goals. You have to set them for yourself. What matters to you? What matters to where you want to be, who you represent? And your goals absolutely need to be in writing. You need to know exactly what you're going for. And really a good practice is to write out your goals every day. I don't do that, but I've been hearing a lot more and more from experts like Brian Tracy that you need to be writing out your goals every single day. I try to do them every Thursday. I write out my goals. So your activity and time invested has got to equal what your goals are. And this is something that we so often miss. So like an example of that would be, I want to be a six-figure earner this year in 2015, but I can only give 2 hours per day to Beachbody. Well, that's not really going to happen in 1 year's time. If you want to be a six-figure earner in your first year with Beachbody, you better be prepared to recruit a lot and work much more than a full-time job. You have to put in a lot of work and you have to recruit big numbers to do that. However, you can be a six-figure earner over the course of 3, 4, 5 years by putting in 2 hours a day, as long as you're consistent with that 2 hours a day. But you have to be realistic about the timeline, okay? So think about that. Like, I feel like we so often miss the reality of what it takes and how much time you have to give and the activity. So I want you guys to use what we're going to talk about today and say, I need to set realistic goals for myself. Okay, so that's what we're going to go over. So let's talk about your basic weekly activity. This is what I teach my team. There are 6 basic things that we do every week. You have to invite. You have to invite to your challenge groups and to join your team. You have to follow up. Follow-ups I would almost put as the #1 thing, but you can't follow up with someone if you didn't invite them. But honestly, following up is 100% key. I use 2 examples for follow-ups. I have a friend of mine, an acquaintance, who had reached out to me about Arbonne, about shampoo, because I had posted about that I was looking for a natural shampoo. And she said, Arbonne's natural, can I send you samples? I was like, of course, send me samples. She never once followed up with me, and she didn't get the sale. So like, if she would have followed up with me, I liked the product, I would have bought it from her, but she never followed up for me, and I'm a busy person, and I just went and got something that was easy, right? So follow up. Another example that I use is the fact that going to a dentist appointment. So in January, I had my 6-month dentist appointment scheduled, and we were traveling, so I had to cancel it. And they called me one time to reschedule, and I missed the call, but they never called me back again, and I still haven't scheduled my dentist appointment. It's almost 6 months later. And my teeth are really good. I take really good care of myself, so I'm not really necessarily worried about it. However, if the dentist office would have kept calling me, I would have said, okay, yeah, I know I need to come in. Funny thing is, and I use this example all the time, but funny thing is the dentist office called me this morning, and I answered, and I got on their calendar. But it's about following up. So make sure that you follow up. People don't respond. People say no, whatever, because a lot of times they just don't have time. So don't worry about following up. You have good intentions for helping people, so follow up. Okay, of course, you have to add new friends to your network. You have to always be talking to people, so you have to be starting new conversations, and you always have to have ongoing conversations. And then the last activity is that you have to be engaging and mentoring your team. And I want to make this very clear that only 1 out of the 6 activities are working with your team. I think a lot of us get into management mode and we just work with our team. Raina has set up some awesome resources for you guys, and I'm sure some of you that are leaders that are listening to this have resources for your team. Let your team use the resources. okay? Let them use the resources. You don't need to coddle or handhold people. The resources are there for them. But you do need to engage and mentor them a little bit, but it's not your top priority. You need to be spending 1/6 of your time working with your team. And that's about 16% of your time is with your team. The rest of your time is working on your business, inviting people to your challenge groups, inviting people to your team, following up, meeting new friends, starting conversations. So I want to make that point really clear because I know I've struggled with that, and I'm sure Raina's shaking her head because I'm sure she struggled with it. We all struggle with it, but it's a really good reminder that that's why we build resources. That's what this business is about duplication. So get people on your team that are going to be resourceful and allow them, empower them to use the resources, okay? So let's reverse engineer your income. How much money do you want to make consistently? The key word is consistently here. So we've got to think about consistent income. Because as many of you know, when you're selling retail, it's up and down. It's not always the same. So how much do you want to make consistently per week with your Beachbody business 1 year from today? So when I first did this training, I did it in December of 2014. So this whole training is based on a year of activity. So instead of at the end of 2015, I wanted to say at the end of May 2016. So 12 months from today. So do you want to be making $150 per week, $250, $500, $1,000, $2,000? What if I gave you specific activity to do that each week to make that income a reality? Would you put in that activity every single week for 12 months to be making $1,000 per week? I can't answer that question for you. Hopefully you're answering that for yourself, and we'll get into the activity so you know exactly what that entails. So before we go into the formula, I want to talk about monthly results. Like, what are the actual results that you get from the activity that generate income? So the three things that you need to focus on every single month that generate income are how many coaches you sign per month, how many challengers you're signing up per month, and how many PS coaches you are getting to Success Club. Those three things are going to generate that income for you. So here's the formula. Okay, guys, I'm a math person, and I know not everybody is. So hopefully this will resonate with some of you. If some of you, you're like, whoa, this is a foreign language, Sarah. What are you talking about algebra for? Just bear with me. It'll be okay. This is super easy stuff right here. So you guys remember from math class how when it says 2x, you got to insert a number in for X. So if we go back down at the bottom of the slide and we say X is the number of coaches or challengers you would like to sign per month, that is how many invites you need to send weekly. So if you want to sign up 5 coaches in 1 month, you need to send 2 times 5 business invites per week. That's 10 business invites per week. And the list goes on, okay? So let's go on to the actual activity for each income level. Now, each one of these is going to say by the end of 2015, but I want you guys to know that you have to consistently do this weekly activity and hit these monthly goals for a consecutive 12 months for this to happen. And I want to just say something here. I don't know that this is necessarily true. This is me making my best guess at what I know, what I've seen, what I've done, my experience with the business. I do have coaches that have been tracking since January, and I will have actual data to back this stuff up by the end of the year. So we will know more specifically what this kind of activity does soon. But here's my best guess at it. So this is what we're going to go into. So if you want to be making $150 consistently, this is $600 per month, you guys, and really $600 per month is pretty life-changing. That is your car payment, that's your gas payment, that's your groceries for your family for the month, whatever that may be. That is life-changing, right? So here's what you have to do every single month for 12 months. You have to sign up 1 coach and 2 challengers, okay? per month. And that should get you to about $150 consistently per week. So what do you do to make those monthly goals happen? Okay, you invite 2 people to the business every week. You invite 4 people to your challenge group per week. Side note here, challenge group invites not only include invites to your paid challenge groups, but also to any free challenge groups you're doing. And when we're doing free challenge groups, our invites are probably a lot more. They're a lot bigger, which is good. But you really want to make sure that this challenge group invite that you're at least getting 4 to your paid ones, because the goal is to get 2 new challengers on a challenge pack, right? And then follow-ups. You've got to be sending 12 follow-ups per week, and I lump them together. So, you know, however many business invites follow-ups you want to do or challenge group invites follow-ups, as long as you're getting 12. You need to start 6 new conversations, and you need to have 6 ongoing conversations per week. The reason why I lump these together is because when you're starting a conversation with someone, I don't want you to think, oh, this person's going to be a challenger or this person's going to be a coach. I just want you talking to people. I just want you to be genuinely interested in what people are doing. Ask them questions, engage with them, right? Ongoing conversations are the same thing. I mean, I send out new conversations every single day. And when people respond to me, I respond back to them the next day, and that's part of my ongoing conversation with someone. Again, new friends, 6 new friends or followers to your network every single week, okay? And if I've said every day, I meant every week. I apologize. New conversations per week is 6. So you guys can see this is this weekly activity is it's weekly. This is totally doable for someone that only has 30 minutes to give per day. This is doable, so doable, you guys. Okay, let's bump it up a notch, 250 consistently per week. That is $1,000 per month. What would you do with $1,000 per month if that was extra coming in? I mean, that is really life-changing, you guys. That is groceries, car payment, gas. That is daycare if you have really young kids. For some people, that may even allow you to quit your full-time job. Okay, life-changing right here. So what do you have to do every month for 12 months? You have to sign 2 new coaches, 2 new challengers, and get 1 of your PS coaches to Success Club 5. So this increases the weekly activity slightly. Business invites per week 4, challenge group invites per week 4, and the list goes on. You guys can see this. You can take screenshots. You can pause the recording. The one thing that we added in here is one-on-ones with your coaches. So this is where we add in that mentoring and engaging with your team, because we want to help 1 coach per month hit Success Club 5. So you've got to be having one-on-ones with your coaches. So I'm going to give you a rule of thumb that you have in this category 2 one-on-ones per week. Sometimes it may be more, sometimes it may be less. You'll figure that out as you go along. But these are just guidelines, you guys. Okay, so let's move on. 500 consistently per week. 500. Okay, that's $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month. That's definitely getting to the point where you are replacing a full-time income, right? So in order to hit 500 consistently per week, you need to be signing up 3 new coaches per month, 3 new challengers per month, and you need to be getting 2 PS coaches to Success Club 5. You guys can see that the weekly activity is increasing. So if you're sitting here saying, okay, is this doable? I don't know. You need to sit down and say to yourself, if I split this up per day, how much time would it take me per day? That's something that you need to sit down and think about. How long is it going to take you to find 12 new friends? How long is it going to take you to start 12 new conversations? That's what you've got to sit down and figure out for yourself and get it into your calendar. Take an hour to sit down and figure this stuff out. It will be life-changing for you, okay? So we've got 2 more to go through. $1,000 consistently per week. Okay, $1,000 per week. I remember when I hit $1,000 per week. That was like one of the best feelings ever. But I hit $1,000 per week and it didn't stick. It wasn't consistent. It happened after Summit a couple of years ago, and I was so stoked. I was so excited. But it didn't happen again for a couple months. So you've got to stay consistent with this stuff over a 12-month period so that you are hitting that number consistently per week. That's the goal with all of this, consistently per week, not just once a month. Okay, so I mean, $1,000 per week is like what my old full-time salary was at State Farm. So this is pretty good money. You're really starting to bump up your activity. And you guys, you can do this in 1 year. You can make this happen in 12 months. If you stick to this weekly activity for a full year, this can happen. That's crazy. Think if you did this for 3 years, what would happen to your income? Okay, monthly goals, 4 new coaches, 4 new challengers, and 4 PS coaches to Success Club 5. So you guys can see here what that does to the weekly activity. It starts to bump it up, okay? So now let's move on to the last one. $2,000 consistently per week is $100,000 per year. You're getting into that 6-figure earner income, which I know are on a lot of your dream boards. That 6-figure number is just so significant, and it just really means, it just gives you confidence, it gives you freedom, it just allows you to know that you've had success with your business, right? I don't know, it gives you so much when you hit that goal, when you hit that for the first time. So the monthly goals jump up a little bit. You're signing 5 new coaches, 5 new challengers, and 5 PS coaches to Success Club. This right here is how I teach my people to hit elite. Do this every single month, do this activity every single week, and you will be an elite coach. So if you have your sights set on elite coach for 2015, and you're getting there, you're struggling a little bit, implement this today, this activity right here, every single week for the rest of 2015, and you will be so much more likely to hit elite. If elite is on your radar for 2016, start doing this now, and you will be way ahead of the game for 2016. Start doing this now, and elite will be on your board. Okay, guys, good stuff right here. Let's see. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so coach one-on-ones. For a lot of you guys, this may possibly be new, coach one-on-ones. Like, how do I talk to my coach? How do I talk to my coaches? What do I do? So you want to make them about 15 to 20 minutes each. They don't have to be long. Like, literally, you can knock them out back to back to back. Here's what you discuss. One good thing that happened to you this week, one thing that they're struggling with, check in with the goals they've set, and if there's time, answer any questions that they have. Depending on the coach you're working with, I would do them weekly or bi-weekly with that particular coach. But they don't have to be long. Just quick, in and out, get it done, okay? And lastly, you guys, I just want to reiterate the fact that you've got to show up daily for this stuff. Showing up is half the battle. And if you just commit to this for 30 days, I guarantee you will see a huge increase in your business. So I'm going to end the show here and the screen share, because I want to tell you guys face to face that here's what I've tried with this stuff. I've tried to do business invites on a Monday, challenge group invites on a Tuesday, follow-ups on a Wednesday. That has not worked for me, and here's the reason why. Because you don't get into a zone when you do that. When you are sending out a business invite and you're talking to someone about the business every single day, that increases your confidence. It just is like you can do that stuff in your sleep when you talk about it every single day. Okay, so I encourage you to take whatever activity that you saw that you said, okay, I can do this, and I want you to break it down daily. So for me, I have a checklist. and it's laminated so that I can take my Sharpie or my dry erase marker, and I can wipe it clean every day, and then I can start over fresh every day. And my power hour consists of 2 business invites per day, 2 challenge group invites per day, 6 follow-ups per day, 2 new conversations, and 4 ongoing conversations. That is my power hour, and I can do that in 1 hour. So find what works for you that you can consistently do every day that matches up with that activity. And when you do that a little bit each, from each category every day, it just gets you in the zone and you just get really good at that stuff. So again, show up daily, focus on it, pick which one you want to do and focus for 30 days and see what happens. Lastly, I just want to say that there's different seasons in our life, and maybe summer is a time when you can put more focus in your business, or maybe for some people, summer is a time when you can't focus as much, and that's okay. I want you to pick one right now where you can focus, and in 3 months, if that changes, you just tweak it up a little bit. You pick a different level. You don't have to stick with one. As long as you're doing one of those, even if it's the 150, you're doing that sort of weekly activity every week, it's so much better than nothing, and your business will exponentially grow because of that. So pick one and stick with it. If you find that it's not good or it's not working, it's too much, it's too little, then you change it up a little bit. So I will open it up to questions. I know that's a lot, so hopefully you guys catch the recording or you can watch it again. Raina, do you have any questions about all that?
I was just sitting here like this the whole time.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I messaged a bunch of people as you were talking, trying to make sure that they were actually getting on, because this was an amazing call. I just want to say that. I'm going to go to the event really fast. I don't think anybody posted questions, which I'm really surprised about, but I know a lot of people don't get on until night. So I may message you with questions.
No, that's fine. Totally.
I loved that you talked about the importance of the live events, first of all, by, sharing that that's how you actually started as an active coach. And I know that a lot of coaches push that off and don't really think that that's an important part of coaching, is getting to the live events and Super Saturdays and Summit and things like that. But it's so beneficial to you and your discount coaches and your potential coaches, just to get yourself to those events, because it kind of makes it real life. People see what we do and see the glitz and glamour of it, but they don't see us at the live events sweating and working out together and the friendships that are built and things like that. So it's so important. And then when you talked about management mode, that's something that I've preached a lot about, is how we, get to Emerald or we get to Diamond, and we're just kind of planted there because we start managing the people underneath us, and it not only harms us, but it stalls us. You know what I mean? It stops us from being able to progress forward. So really important to get back to the basics of posting every single day and inviting and doing those laid out things that you posted or that you talked about. Loved that. Kinsey Evans said, would Sarah mind posting her personal power hour checklist here? Smiley face.
Am I in the event?
Let me add you to it, actually. I made it a Luxe Republic only, but it might let me add you. Or you can
I can always text you a picture of my checklist too.
Yeah. Do you mind doing that, and then I'll upload it for him? Yeah, it's not gonna let me add you to the private event. Let me refresh one more time. I think that's it. I mean, it was a lot of information, but I was like, holy crap, this is I've never really broken it down for people. And I love that you did that. I love that you're like, okay, you want to make $500 a month or a week? This is what you have to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I hope that, it's a lot. So I know for me, numbers excite me. So this stuff is my element. It's easy for me to put that together, and I know it's not everybody's element. So if you're sitting there whoa, this is a lot, just watch it again and pause it and try to really understand. If you have questions, let Raina know. I'm happy to answer any questions. But it really just comes down to the small tangible activities, just doing them every single day, and it makes such a difference. So. Yeah.
Ian Hicklin posted and said, what qualifies as an ongoing conversation? Do Facebook posts / comments count as ongoing combos or more private messages?
I usually count private messages, but honestly, like, this stuff is really up to you. Like, if you're building a relationship with someone, like in a public setting, like on Facebook or Instagram, sure, I would totally count that. I think that counts. I personally do mine as private messages, but I know everybody does it a little different. So, yeah.
I mean, I would personally say whatever progresses your business forward.
Totally, yeah. I think it's personal.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah. Let me look and refresh one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, yeah, and I will forward, if you don't mind, I will forward all questions to you as they come in, as people watch it, so.
I'll email you this
Perfect.
right now.
Perfect.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you this evening.
Okay, sounds good. See ya.
Okay, thank you.